Are you an entrepreneur looking to have your business grow with a little help from the internet? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Harness the Web with your host, Steve Peck.
Hey, it's Friday. No, it's not. It's Thursday. And here we are on Harness the Web. And I don't even have that part straight. But it's so great today. I'm Steve Peck, the host here at Harness the Web. And I'm here today with Laurie Tubb, who is the founder and owner and chief guru at Lin Mail Pro. I guess you had it about 3 years now. You started that. And you really came out of telecommunications where you started?
Yes, and engineering background, but telecoms. Had a telecoms company in the 90s, which I
So you sold that business and ended up.
I sold my shares. And my co-directors went on to make millions.
And then, but you retired in 2002.
Yes.
I love this.
Yes.
You bought your lifelong dream, a 57-foot sailboat, and cruised the Caribbean and South America for the next 12 years. And then, and you got bored. I love that.
12 years on a sailboat. 12 years on a sailboat. It's a long time.
Was it small?
Great.
How many people?
Just me and the occasional friend. But four of us came across from Cape Town to Brazil, and we lost a few on the way. Not overboard, but left to go home, and ended up with two when we reached almost the final destination at a base in Isla Margarita in Venezuela, and then just one in the end, just me. So I was living on it. 57 foot. It's a sizable boat, comfy.
Yeah, that's cool. Anyways, so you got bored and you decided to you wanted to do some online marketing consulting, right? Is that how you started? Using
Sure.
LinkedIn?
Well, I did a bit of business coaching before, yes, and did some online marketing using LinkedIn as a base. And it wasn't a question of getting bored. I was just watching all the rest of the cruising community drink themselves into oblivion. So I thought I'd better do something just to keep me occupied.
Yeah, I can see that could be an issue after a while, right? And so, but now you spend the summers in the northern hemisphere in England and on a wide beam narrow boat. I don't know what that is, near Stratford upon Avon, which I do know. That's Shakespeare's town, right? And,
Correct.
The winter months in South or Central America. And you're
in
able
the southern hemisphere, yes. Well, not southern hemisphere, but the warm climes in the winter of the northern hemisphere. I don't like the cold at all.
Oh, cool. And then here's the cool thing to me is that you're able to support your business and your users no matter where you are.
Well, there's a team of us doing that, but yes, and we pride ourselves in that one, Steve. We're on the support as a top quality support, and I think a lot of our customers will echo that.
So real quick, could you just tell us the origins of Lin Mail Pro and like what the value is, the big benefit that people get from using it today?
It came around about using LinkedIn as a base to get some customers. I didn't need many, just a few to keep me occupied with the coaching. But of course, you've got to copy and paste, and I'm quite a lazy person, so I tried to automate it and couldn't. And one of the evenings with my friends of a Friday, I said I've got to keep it quiet this evening because I've got about 100 copy and paste to send out tomorrow morning. And one of the guys popped up and said, what are you doing? So I explained, and he said, I will come around and see what you're doing because I can automate it. So I said, what do you do? And he said, well, I'm a programmer. I said, okay. In South America, you don't ask what people do for a living. So
you're afraid of the answer or what?
Yeah, well, yeah, you just don't know. You don't ask. So he popped around the next morning, and I showed him. He said, well, I'll automate that for you, and did. And this was at the time when you could market to groups, if you remember.
Yeah, I do.
When LinkedIn were allowing you to get into groups and send everything to everybody within groups. So we did that, and I said, well, if you make this look a bit prettier, we can market it. And that's what we've been doing ever since. And we've we've been in the market and sustained lots of changes and hassles from LinkedIn, and we're still here, unlike a few others that have gone by the wayside.
I mean, that's so awesome, because LinkedIn, for those who don't use it a lot or don't use it at all, LinkedIn does a great job of changing things all the time. Like how often do you end up having to make changes to the software so it can continue to work?
Well, every week, and that's changes that you don't see front end. These are changes they make in the back. Well, they've actually been told not to. There was a law case late last year of somebody trying to scrape information, and LinkedIn said, we don't like that, and we're stopping you. And then they went to court, and the judge said, no, you've got to stop stopping people from using your platform. So
really?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
I'll take that out and send it to you.
That's
this company's just scraping. Oh, it is. This company's just scraping information, and LinkedIn didn't like it. Obviously, nobody would like it because it's LinkedIn's platform. But the judge actually said, no, you have to remove all blocks that you're putting into stopping this company operate. So
that's pretty remarkable.
That's happened.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable.
It is.
So what do you think? Like, where's LinkedIn going, do you think? You've seen a lot of changes there. You've seen, you kind of exist in their orbit, right? You have to pay attention to them.
Yes.
What are they,
parasitical,
what
as I like to call us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. They've been so good to go out and organize, their 500+ million members so that the rest of us can tap into it. But what's up there?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best platform. Sorry, you were breaking up there a bit, Steve, but no worries. It's the best platform, business platform out there. And I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing and stop the Facebook-style approach that they're making, and just keep it like it was, a professional business organization. And one of the big problems is everybody I speak to who markets on LinkedIn, everybody gets the contacts on LinkedIn, finds them on LinkedIn, and then moves them off onto a different platform. So all the communication is done normally by email or WhatsApp or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can't work out. I don't know really what LinkedIn can do about that.
I don't know. One of the things for me, I know on LinkedIn, it would be great if I could classify, they used to let you tag, but if I could classify my connections, so there's like the people that I really, who are I'm going to assume like their primary connections, people I communicate with a lot, then it kind of goes out. Then there's people I talk to once in a while. Then there's people I hardly know. It sort of goes out. If they gave you some way to really character or pull that in, I could see communicating a lot, using it a lot with the people that I want to talk to a lot, instead of going off to Skype or some other medium to do that. Which, I mean, today that's what I do, is I actually use Skype to talk to most of the people that I talk to. Because one of the things LinkedIn's done for me, and given your lifestyle, it must have done it for you, it's allowed me to develop an international business. Without it, I wouldn't have been able to do. I don't know, who knows where the people I'm talking to are. Like, right now, you're where? So today, where are you?
In what respect? Sorry, Steve, you broke up at the middle of that diatribe.
Yeah, so physically, where are you located? Geography.
Oh, sorry, physically, I'm in Panama at this moment in time. I lived in Venezuela for the last 5-6 years, having sold the boat, and I'm looking for somewhere else that's nice and warm in the winter months to live. So at the moment, I'm in Panama, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
hot.
And to me, one of the cool things about LinkedIn, actually the internet, is it doesn't really matter where anybody is.
Absolutely, as long as you have an internet connection.
Yeah. So earlier today, I was talking to a guy who I think was in the United States. I'm not really sure. And then another fellow that I talk to a lot who's in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And they could be next door. It doesn't matter. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great, and I'm lucky that this is a product that we can support and look after and sell and market and change and adapt and repair whatever, wherever we are. My business team, my development team is in New York and Ecuador. The support team's in England, and I'm here. Great.
Yeah.
I'll just sit back and conduct. No, I don't.
That's okay if you did. The do you have an idea of who the ideal person is? The person who uses your product, who is that ideal for?
Great question. Our preference is people who are experienced marketers on LinkedIn. That's our preference. But we're getting more and more people working from home and doing their own business and using the internet a lot more and coming over to LinkedIn, who are coming straight off of a business type training course, a LinkedIn training course they've just come off of. So we're getting some quite new people starting. And of course, if they follow everything properly, everything works well. But if they don't follow everything properly on the internet, their business will fail. Like a lot of businesses, they go by the wayside. So we prefer established internet marketers on LinkedIn, because there's some rules and regulations that LinkedIn rightly impose, and I'm in support of them, to stop excessive spamming and contacting the wrong people. And if you don't know those, you get yourself into trouble big time.
Yeah, pretty easy. You can know them and still get into trouble.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well,
it's happened to me a couple of times.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can't imagine you getting into trouble, Steve.
Yeah, well, that's happened. I hate to admit it, but in any case, what are you going to do? So what was it? So your friend wrote this software to let you automate what you were doing.
Yeah, he wasn't even my friend. He was a drinking buddy, I suppose.
Well,
and
so he's a drinking friend. We'll call him a drinking friend.
Yeah.
And how did you go?
He's now a business partner.
Cool. How did you go from that? How did you really get it launched?
Have a question for Steve? Tweet him now at Harness the Web or on Facebook, facebook.com/Harness the Web.
Tell us that story.
Oh, wow. I don't remember. We spoke to a few people just to make sure that we had a product there, and we put that on beta test, and then we looked through a couple of platforms to put it out on, marketing sales platforms, that is. Not marketing platforms, just a sales platform. The Google extension was by far the best. They do all the finances, they do all the credit checking, they do all rebilling and everything for a small percentage of the cost of the product. So that's how we put it out there. A few teething problems initially, but once you understand how they operate, everything's good. Everything's good. So we use Google and Google extensions specifically to market on the web store.
Yeah, and so do you market primarily through the web store, or do you have a reach out today? What do you do?
Don't market at all now. LinkedIn gave us a slapping, and we sort of, out of respect, and we've just removed everything from anybody. Nobody can find us there. So all the business we get now is by referral, and that's a lot.
That's interesting.
And the people that are out there marketing aggressively are going to get slapped by LinkedIn. So I just take a back seat.
So obviously your product provides value to your users.
Yeah, definitely.
If they keep sending more people to you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go back. So you're probably not as old as me, but.
Thank you for that.
In any case, So I come from an era, and maybe you do too, when the internet didn't exist, right? How did you first, what's the story between, how did you first really see, there's an opportunity here with this internet thing to do something with it relative to business?
Some while back, actually, a long while back, a friend of mine wanted to publish a book. So I just keyed in somewhere, publishing a book online, an unbelievable amount of how to publish a book online, an unbelievable amount of hits came back. Internet marketing, multi-level marketing on the net, some of the big multi-level marketing companies, the people, hundreds and hundreds. So I thought, well, I'll explore this. And just used my normal marketing sales tactics to get some customers. Define your market, define your field. It's just a different mentality online. Once you realize how, and a lot of people don't realize the power of it. A method I use and still do on LinkedIn is getting other people that you know to share the content that you've got, and that reaches just people you wouldn't have heard of and wouldn't have dreamed of getting as customers. It's just huge.
And do you have any advice or any tips around that? Like, how do you get those people to share or engage with your content?
Again, that's an art rather than a tactic. You offer to share their content. So, hey, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Yeah.
If it's not appropriate for you to scratch my back, then don't do it. But if you find my content scratchable, then share it. And I'll share yours. Let me know. And that's how I did all my marketing and still do today to a certain extent.
So that's pretty simple.
It is.
It
is.
Really...
And the content may be totally irrelevant to most people. But if you share it and you've got 50,000 people, potentially 50,000 people of your first connections sharing to them, being exposed to that number of people, it's unbelievable.
And what do you think? Like, now I know that LinkedIn, so if we're talking about LinkedIn, LinkedIn keeps changing the rules of how it shares your content. Like, what shows up in people's news feeds?
Well, you take it away from them. You use a product like mine to say, hey, to your first connections that write a news feed or interested in your news feed, and saying, hey, take a look at this. So you take it away from them. The stats that they give on it is bad now. It doesn't stay there for very long. So no, just take it away from their control. You do it. You tell people, hey, I've just written this article, or hey, I've got this on my newsfeed. Do you want to share it for me? That's it.
So it's really, my question is, in the next round. So you write it, you reach out to those people, ask them to share it. Now, when they share it, I would think that's when LinkedIn's changes impact who sees it.
Well, no, because I don't know how their algorithm works, so I don't know the answer to that question. I assume that
doesn't work like it did yesterday, probably.
I don't know. Yes, probably. But
in
the end, if you hit those 200, if you send a message to 200 people on LinkedIn, say, hey, there's this Pulse article I'd like you to look at for me. It's about so and so. Share please share it and let me know when you do, and I'll share yours. That sort of note, they share it, and it gets exposed to a lot of people. Now, whether LinkedIn's algorithms will enhance that share, I don't know.
And can you?
I don't care either.
Okay. Do you? Does Lin Mail Pro make it easy to manage that group of, like you just mentioned, 200 who you want to share it?
Yeah, you just keep a list of them in the dashboard.
Does Lin Mail Pro keep the list, or do you keep it manually outside of that?
Lin Mail Pro does. You define it, obviously.
Sure. Sweet. What's been your biggest frustration with working online and having this online business?
It's a compliment and a frustration. People who blatantly copy the program.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you had a lot of that?
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised, because it's a big world, and when you have a big world.
I'm not surprised. Just annoyed and frustrated. One of them. It was an exact copy, and emailed through my Facebook group, which I think you're still a member of, Steve, for the Facebook group. Emailed everybody within Facebook to say, hey, I've got this product. It's like Lin Mail Pro. It's exactly like Lin Mail Pro, but cheaper. Don't tell Laurie.
Like you're not going to find out. It's wild. It is pretty wild how people are. What do you think?
I'm quite amused by that. Hey, and it's a compliment that, we were one of two 3 years ago, and there are upwards of 15 now.
Yeah, it's One of the things that always hits me about the internet and LinkedIn, especially when you talk about, hey, there's 500,000 members or plus, right? 500 million, right? Is that right? Yeah, 500 million.
Yep. 500 million.
How many customers does somebody really need?
Well, that's a great point. That's a great point. I get people coming on to me. I've got 30,000. I've got 10,000. I've got 15,000 first connections. Well, why do you need me? You should be making an absolute fortune.
Yeah.
Should be making an absolute fortune. But of course, a lot of those are not active. A lot of those don't do anything. But if you have 1,000 quality, targeted, regularly communicated people, you won't be able to handle the business you get, whatever you're doing.
Just 1,000.
Thousands, yeah.
Sweet.
You're targeted. You're targeted.
Yeah.
You know, 1,000 guys who are not very topical at the moment, well, very topical at the moment. 1,000 guys who like shooting.
Okay. Yeah. As long as you sell stuff for guys who like shooting.
Yeah, and you're writing articles and you're keeping them informed and go, oh, by the way, I've got this for sale. Oh, by the way, I've got that for sale, and you make a fortune.
Yeah, that's very cool. And anyways, I always find it interesting that people who come back to you and say, like having a podcast, I've had this a few times, people who are pretty big names in LinkedIn marketing who've come back to me and said, oh, well, you're kind of a competitor of mine. I shouldn't be on your podcast. And I'm thinking,
well, that's ridiculous.
I don't know how many customers you need, but I don't need.
No,
it's
that's
a
ridiculous.
big world, man.
That's ridiculous. I speak to one or two of my competitors on a fairly regular basis, and we obviously keep some secrets from each other, but there's a huge world out there. It's
overall,
not,
yeah. Anyways, I was like blown away when it first happened. It's like, what's wrong with you? It's a huge world, and it's one of those. If 1 and 1 on the internet can equal way more than 3.
Unbelievable. Oh yeah. And once you realize the power of that, you just never look back. Never look back.
That's very cool. So what advice do you have for people today? Somebody's just starting out, not really your ideal client because you like people who are already in business, or let's say they are in business and they want to use LinkedIn now. They're just getting started. What should they do?
Go on a training course. Go do a training course on LinkedIn. The worst thing that people do, you don't even need a website. If you just don't, LinkedIn will do everything for you. It won't do everything for you, but the platform of LinkedIn is all you need. That's a better way of putting it. Go on a training course, because the worst thing you can do is start talking to people, start marketing your product, and then they go and look at you on LinkedIn and it's a bad profile. You'll lose those customers immediately. You do more damage than anything else. So make sure you get onto, and there's a number of courses around. I can't recommend anyone because I have a lot of them that run these courses that customers of mine.
Sure.
So do a search. The names come up.
What kind of things should someone look for? Because there's good people in terms of training on LinkedIn, and there's also a lot of training that I would call fluff. Okay,
well, I'm not seeing fluff, so I don't know. Okay. You may be better answering that question than me, Steve, there. So I don't know, but obviously look for the recommendations. Always have a look. If you're going to put any money, there's a lot of freebies out there. They start off free. Give a little bit of information away. Go, oh, yeah, that suits. But look at the reviews. Always look at the reviews. You're going to invest any money, look at the reviews.
Cool. So it's pretty simple. So you basically have a very simple business model.
Yep.
It's awesome. I love it. And
it suits my mentality. Completely simple.
And anybody should be able to follow it. So I really appreciate, well, let me ask you this other question first. You and I were talking the other day, and I was asking you about LinkedIn. It was like, where is LinkedIn going? Now that they're owned by Microsoft. What do you think LinkedIn thinks their purpose is?
We can see their coding, and we can see how well or how badly they've written things and how badly they do things. So I don't know.
That's a fair answer.
I really don't know. I hope they stay the same as they are. I hope they go back to a few features that came in. But then again, if they had those features, companies like mine and products like mine and others that attach themselves won't have anything to do. If they had an automated messaging program, ours wouldn't exist. Nor there were a lot of others.
Oh,
if they had a proper tagging. Sorry.
Yeah, no. What I was going to say is one thing that is good about the fact that they change a lot. It kind of flushes out I'm going to call it the copycats in a marketplace periodically.
Yeah.
Because they just don't keep up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's frustrating, but it's a good thing as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Big advantage to it. So how does somebody find you online? They
don't. They go to a website and they fill in a form, and we not cross-examine them, but we make sure they're suitable and go through a selection process and
so where would you
send
details? Yeah. So if somebody wanted to reach out to you, they said, "Oh, hey, I want to find out about this Lin Mail Pro, and I want to become a customer." How would they do that?
Go into the website linmailpro.com.
Okay, so that's pretty simple.
And it's just a very simple worded phrase with a click on this link to fill in the form, and we'll get back to you. Simple.
Get started. And it's LinMailPro.com, right?
Lin Mail Pro. LinMailPro.com.
Perfect. Excellent. I really appreciate you taking the time today.
It's great to talk to you. Thank you.
I love talking about people who have they have figured out a simple way to harness the internet and make it not complicated. It's awesome because there's lots of people who make it super complicated. So it's great to talk to somebody who's made it. Hell, just here you go. You need 1,000 people and keep in touch with them, and there you go.
Sure. And if you get any inquiries about this after the podcast is gone, Steve, we've got a offer on as you would expect. So put those people through to me. Just get them to mention your name.
Okay.
And you know how to contact me. Give them my contact details, and we'll give them a quite a deal. Actually, quite a deal.
Very cool. I'll be happy to do that for you. And again, I really appreciate you being on with us today and sharing a little bit about your journey. Sorry you gave up your sailboat, but
no, I got fed up repairing
it. It's on my bucket list. I can't believe it, but anyways, it is.
Well, I'm just going to jump into that pool now that we finished. There's a lovely pool there. The sun's a bit high, but I'll keep out the way of it.
Now, what's the temperature in Panama right now?
Hot.
In
new money, it's about 30, 31 midday. Yeah, 30, 31. Although there's a breeze blowing, so it probably feels closer to about 27, 28. New money.
Cool. Sweet. All right. Hey, have a great day. And again, thanks so much for being with us. And everybody,
great.
Have a fun time. And Ian, while you're listening to this, if you're interested in taking advantage of the deal that Laurie mentioned, just reach out to me and we'll get you connected. Be perfect.
Super.
Thanks so much. Take it easy. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to Harness the Web with your host, Steve Peck. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit harnesstheweb.net. We'll see you next time.